So a few people have wondered why I'm doing this. And it's because I owe a debt to the universe. You know, I've got some bad karma that I need to shed. Because I was kind of an asshole over spring break. Thank you. You get it. So it was my dad's birthday over spring break. It's great. And something that is very important that you should know about my dad is he works from home. That's not a COVID thing. That's just something that he does for his company. He's got this nice little home office. It's great. And so every year, like for about the past 3 years, he's adamant about working on his birthday, even though he doesn't have to. And so, like the great child I am, I do what all children do when their parents want to do things. That is, make it as difficult as possible. And so there have been times, you know, I've buried his computer under confetti, I fucked with the router a little bit. I took it a little too far this year. The only way I can tell it is just to show you. So there's 200 balloons in that picture. Little did I know that this would technically be an assassination attempt on my father with a latex allergy. And the thing is, like, he was pretty cool about it, right? He starts working early in the morning, right? And so I come down to the aftermath of the carnage, and so I'm the only one of my 3 siblings that's home, right? And so, you know, he was pretty chill about it that morning, and I called my brother later that day, and I mean, the moral of the story is that my father not using 1 piece of latex led him to deal with 200. And the thing is, love the delayed reaction there, love that. And so, okay, I get it, I'm an asshole. But the thing is, there were fucking warning signs. Like, there were ways where the universe was just like, no, don't do this. Like, the struggle of getting all of those balloons, like, I had to go to 4 stores to get them. Like Kroger, nothing. The place next door, it's like it's called Little Green Apple, it's like a Hallmark store, nothing. The CVS down the street, closest thing they had was Thomas the Tank Engine themed condoms called Thomas the Tank Trojan. But I had to finally descend into the hellhole that is my local party city. Now, there might be some nice party cities out there. This is not one of them. It is essentially an empty, barren warehouse with just party supplies strewn about. It is terribly decorated for a place that sells decorations. And so it's one of those things that has like a door chime when you get in, and then the employees have that mandatory corporate greeting that they have to give you every time you walk in. And so there are 2 employees there, and I don't need to characterize them at all. I just need to tell you how they greeted me, right? So I get through the door, ding, ding, right? And so one employee just goes, "Welcome to Party City," and then the other one is just, "Welcome to Party City." So we have one that is so enthusiastic and then one that's just dead inside. And so I just kind of awkwardly make my way into the store, and it's so poorly organized that I have to spend like half an hour looking through these shelves. All the while, the dynamic duo at the counter is like struggling. You know how they have like the helium station? They're struggling to inflate what I can only describe as like a unicorn balloon with horrible erectile dysfunction. And so, you know, I finally find the balloons, and there's 3 options. There's a 10-pack, a 30-pack, and a 72-pack. I look at the shelf for about half a second, and I'm just like, Mama didn't raise no bitch. And so, you know, I grab the 72-pack, and I was like, this isn't enough. You know, Dad has 3 kids, right? 3 of those, great. The one thing I have neglected to mention is that I didn't have a pump to blow up the balloons. I had to do this all with the power of my lungs, which probably was another warning sign, come to think of it. And so, you know, it took me an afternoon to do this, and I was doing great until about 150 balloons in. Do we have any partiers in the crowd?
Yes.
Okay, the true answer is no, but I will. This is a stand-up comedy, come on. But I will tell you, I have never felt so fucked up other than in that moment. Like, you want to get smashed? Try oxygen deprivation. And so after all of this, fortunately my dad is the type to go to bed early. I am the type to never sleep. So I was able to I had to do this in the basement so that he wouldn't find the hordes of balloons. So I had to manually carry like 6 of them up at a time. And so my mother is just sitting on the couch like, I'm not helping you with this. And so all in all, that is why I am getting retribution tonight. So the first one to start my suffering.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up with those ripped jeans, dude? You fall and slip on concrete?
Got it. Yeah.
Nice one, Vaishakh. What's up, everybody? My name is Vaishakh. I get kind of nervous sometimes before doing stand-up. People tell me I should try drugs, maybe. So I've been trying to switch it up. I did heroin today. Heroin's pretty cool too. You know, it's a lot like coffee, except at Starbucks you gotta ask for the secret menu. You know, different kinds of shots. Speaking of drugs, I mean, if you ever want to kill yourself pretty quick, you can check in your edibles the next time you're on a trip to an Asian country. It's on site, you know, no due process. I actually grew up in Singapore. You know, Singapore is a pretty cool place. But more than just drugs are illegal there. One kind of weird thing that's illegal in Singapore is you can't play instruments in public. That's kind of obnoxious. Like, you can't be weird playing instruments in public, which is why you'll never see a Nickelback concert. Like, chewing gum is illegal in Singapore, spitting in public is illegal in Singapore, and the punishment for things like this is caning. You get caned, and there's no secret sauce involved, you know. Yeah. Another weird thing that's illegal in Singapore, you can't connect to somebody else's Wi-Fi without their permission. So all you creative bastards that have PAL 4.0 as your Wi-Fi name, you know, you're inciting criminals. I'm Indian. A lot of people and talk about Indian weddings, but and how cool they are. You know, they seem to have a lot of fun. But I really think that's just North Indian weddings. You know, South Indian weddings are not as cool. South Indian weddings are kind of like if an EDM concert took place in Elliott Hall, you know. It looks really cool from the outside and it sounds great, but then you walk in and it's 20 people taking pictures of the stage, and everyone else is playing Wordle on their phone. Yeah, Indian weddings kind of suck. I don't know, another kind of weird thing about India, I don't know if you've ever heard of alcohol ads in India, but you're not actually allowed to show alcohol in the advertisements. And so you'll have a Bacardi ad, and you know, it starts like a normal alcohol ad, having fun on the beach, turning it up at the club, killing a young family in an auto accident, and then it cuts to the title card, Bacardi, DVDs, and it's just a stack of DVDs because instead of a handle, because they can't actually show alcohol.
Wow.
Couldn't have at least gone with Blu-ray, you know, it's 2022. Imagine alcohol slogans were actually accurate, you know, instead of alcohol, have fun with your friends, it was alcohol, our profit margins were low after COVID, or Bacardi, our profit margins were low after COVID because our mascot's a bat, or sorry, the Bacardi logo's a bat, I don't know. Or Bacardi, it's not illegal unless you're over 0.08. Alright, it's all for me, guys.
It's a great pleasure to be a part of the first Psucc Open Mic that was hosted by someone who looks like they'd wave a menorah at a Metallica concert. I gotta confess something. I don't do it easily, but I've recently started paying for YouTube Premium. I know. But once you go no ads, you can't go back, man. YouTube knows that. They're like a heroin dealer. That's why, you know, first one's free. You get the first free trial, and then they know you're gonna pay in a month. That's how it goes. The ability to not have ads, to not have to wait 30 seconds to watch a Vine I thought was funny in 2014, that really helps me sleep better, you know? But like there is a little bit of a trade-off there because now you don't have that hesitation. Like when I click at midnight on like a 2-hour documentary about medieval Ireland, I don't have to be like, am I actually just depressed or like nah. But I think like ads with YouTube, I'm good with them being gone. But there's some places where I would never get rid of. Like Tinder, I want those ads forever because it's just such a funny concept. Like what marketing board was like, how are we going to sell our product? Like, let's go to the people who are trying to get dick. Like, yeah, like their target audience is a guy who's got like 2 goals in mind for the night. He's got to do one. He's like, I either got to get my dick sucked or get a good rate on car insurance. Tinder came up. Like, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. And like the worst part is that like, you know, I'm sure all of us, we've all been there just swiping with reckless abandon. Your thumb's got a mind of its own. You're not like even really thinking about what you're doing, just right, left, right, right, right. And all of a sudden, before you can even react, it's just like your thumb sees it's like, oh, she's bad and she wants to do my taxes, and like boom, now you're matched with TurboTax. TurboTax ain't gonna suck my dick. Like, at least I don't think so. I don't know what's in the paid version. But. Speaking of ads and sucking dick, I think that like the targeted porn ads are getting a bit much. You know what I mean? Like the ones that show up on the margins of like Pornhub. Like, I was beating my dick a few days ago. I got one of those classic lines of like, the ad pops up, it's like, horny bitches in West Lafayette. I'm like, whoa, what a coincidence, that's where I am. You know, I tap on it, and it just opened up my front-facing camera. I was like, you didn't even take that chance to get my credit card or install malware, you just wanted to roast me? Like, oh, it's not cool. It's my sister's birthday soon. She's turning 19, which is, you know, not like, it's not a big anniversary, not like a 21st or an 18th birthday, but I was talking to her and she was like, okay, here's, you know, what I want from you for my birthday, here's what mom and dad are getting me, here's what my friends are doing, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yo, you gotta like, calm down, get down to earth, like, you can't take this stuff for granted. Like, don't you know that there are a lot of kids in Texas who don't even get birthdays? All they got was a surprise visit from a coat hanger once. There you go. All right, thanks.
Hey, everybody. I only wrote like 2 minutes and I didn't memorize it. There's no excuse. I didn't do anything today. You know what I did today? I threw up Gatorade in the morning. That's wraps on the whole day. I sat in bed watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall. One time I was driving and I saw a billboard for a white pride radio show. Do you think they use like similar sounds to like those shock DJs but like racist? You know what I'm saying? It's like, keep it brand wizard coming at you live. Enter for your chance to win 2 free tickets to the cross burning in front of the daycare. It was like random calls for like women like getting spliced into the ads, like minorities suck on 99.7 FM. You know what I'm saying? Or is it like public access radio? You know, it's like it's 7:03 in Boone County. The sun's about to set, which means you best get your brown ass out of here. Up next is Smooth White Jazz. Just riffing. I don't know. There's kind of a cultural. What? There's kind of a cultural. Can I work? Can I say my shit? Okay. There's kind of like a cultural divide between me and my mom. When I was like little, she used to play me like Bollywood songs, right? And only the brown people laughed. Okay. And like I get that she was trying to like teach me about her culture or whatever, but like a lot of the songs were like oddly sexual, you know? Like the lyrics would be like, yeah, girl, back that ass up. And my mom was like, yeah, I miss my homeland. You know? Just like on full blast in the car in the school drop-off zone at 7 a.m. I wish she was listening to the White Pride radio show instead of a song written in my mother tongue about getting groped in a unisex bathroom. Some of the lyrics were just like nonsensical. It didn't make sense at all. Like There was one lyric that always stuck out to me. It was "Sexy lady on the floor, keep you coming back for more." How are you guys pointing at each other? We know this song, dude. See, I didn't know it was about like a girl, like a sexy girl, like dancing on a dance floor. I thought it was just about like some woman who like tripped and fell and stuff. You know? And like instead of like helping her out, people are just like writing songs about it. Like, can I get a hand? Like, shut up, bitch. Who runs the floor? You know what I'm saying? Eventually, like, because like no one moves her and she doesn't move herself, like she just becomes a nuisance. Like people have to step over like a pile of laundry. I have the worst roommates ever. No one moves this. You know what I'm saying? Is that all I wrote? Oh yeah, no. Eventually, she becomes like a problem, right? And so like an actual problem, like, hey, the guests are coming in 5 minutes, but we're gonna put this sexy lady on the floor. So they just have to like nudge her off to the side, like an ice cube under the fridge type situation. Just get the fuck in there. So heavy, and then it becomes like Lionel Messi free kicks. Get this thing, dude. All right, that's my time.
So I almost got drugged at a club in Chicago. Yeah. This lady just like approached me and just like shoved her drink directly towards my lips, like, drink, trust me. It's always a good opener. She must have learned that one from every frat guy ever. I'm not gonna lie though, I was a little tempted. The drinks there were like $17 each. Like I'd have to sell my left kidney to get drunk there. But no, I'm not trying to get Bill Cosby all the way onto Jeffrey Epstein's island. You do not accept mysterious fluids from strangers, kids, okay? But I was a little flattered. I mean, there was a lot of individuals in that club, and she chose me to predatorize. I was honored. You know, it did magic for my self-esteem. She valued me more than the $17 of that drink. I now know my worth. $18.74, including tax. Do you guys think that there's a small subset of vegetarians out there that just fucking hate animals? Like just an irrational hatred of animals? Because you know, like, vegetarians are things like they love animals, right? But like, motherfuckers can eat vegetables and also despise animals at the same time, right? I mean, these things don't have to necessarily be mutually exclusive. Like, maybe they're just like, good, I want the animals to be slaughtered, but also don't eat them. I want it to go to waste. This all came from, I was in a grocery store and I saw animal-shaped vegan nuggets. And I, not just any animals, mind you, these were animals that were going extinct. And I just thought to myself, who is this marketed towards? Like, who relishes in the death of turtles, whales, and rhinoceroses and the like, but wouldn't dream of eating a real chicken? Well, maybe I'm looking at this all from the wrong angle. Maybe their motive is that they're trying to eat all of the vegetables up so that the animals just starve and die. Alright, I want to get you guys riled up a little bit, so I'm going to start just going over apparently unpopular opinions of mine. And these are all true. You can quote me on all of them. Alright, starting off, the water at Purdue, it tastes good. I'm sorry, someone had to say it. I grew up off hose water, so, you know, this bottled water shit, it doesn't have the same tang to it. It doesn't hit the same. And, you know, someone said, no, don't, you can't drink the water here, it's dangerous. But, look, and then they like sent me like an article from the Environmental Protection Agency or something, and they were saying that like, apparently the water has like 4.5 times more magnesium in it than like the safe amount or something like that. Listen, this here is why some of y'all be having a magnesium deficiency with your Fiji water drinking asses. Next up, next fact. Kiwis should be eaten like apples. I do not have the time nor the patience to peel a kiwi. You just gotta bite into that motherfucker. It's not gonna kill you. The hair is not gonna kill you. Although I may be allergic to kiwis. Every time I eat it, I feel like shit. I can't imagine why. But still, that entices me further. Because it's like the forbidden fruit. Finally. Yeah, you got it. You like that one? Finally. My favorite my favorite cereal is Raisin Bran, and it's not even close. That's the only correct opinion. And I love raisins, but the main reason is I fuck with the bran. All right, that's all my time.
How are we doing tonight? We're doing good. Hey, you ever notice this? Like, you know how like when you go to a concert and like the celebrity like shouts out the state you live in, and like everyone's like supposed to like get excited. Like, I don't really get, like, whenever, like, Indiana is, like, mentioned. Okay, first of all, stop. You're not gonna like what I have to say next, all right? I don't get why people start clapping for Indiana, because clapping is supposed to indicate that you're excited about where you live in, and this is Indiana. So, like, I don't get why you're excited about that. But I enjoy living in Indiana. I don't like telling people from California I live in Indiana. And like, the reason being is because like, whenever I say that, that's just incentive for them to talk about how where they live in is like the greatest state ever. So like, usually a conversation will look like this. Like, I walk up to my California friend, and I tell them like, I live in Indiana, and they're like, oh, bro, get this. Sometimes in California, like, it's like super warm, but sometimes in the 60s, it's really chilly. And I'm like, wow, that's great, man. Hey, get this. Sometimes there's cornfields in Indiana, and sometimes if you drive, you can see a ton of them. So like, that's usually how it is. And like, listen, I fuck with California people. I think they're cool. But like, they treat the weather here like it's their ex-girlfriend or something. Like, it just gets such bad rep. So I don't know. I feel like they gotta stop. And this is the turn where I start getting to darker jokes, so. I think it's funny how hard, like, parents try not to physically hurt their children. Like, I think it's funny because my type of entertainment is like going to a grocery store, like getting a lawn chair, like sitting down, and just watching like a parent looking like they want to kill themselves while their 4-year-old is like throwing a tantrum because like they can't get like chocolate, like chip ice cream. Like, that's the perfect kind of entertainment for me. And like, usually, like the parent, you know, they're like bringing back for like physical abuse, but then they realize they can't do that shit. So then they have to like think of like passive aggressive comments. So like, a hypothetical would be like, okay, like you knock over a vase, it's broken on the ground. And then all of a sudden your mom finds out that the vase is broken. So she's like running back for like a Bruce Lee like sidekick step, like she's about to like do your ass, but then she stops herself, and then she's like, ha ha ha, oh, it's okay, I still love you, ha ha ha, even though the vase is $1,000 and has the ashes of your dead grandfather, that's okay, ha ha, oh, sorry, I had to dust off some of those ashes, ha ha ha, I'm so glad I didn't get that abortion, ha ha ha. Yeah, moving on. I actually like people that play wind instruments. I really appreciate them. You know, like trombone, flute, all that stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like they're just getting the experience of what it's like to like slowly be waterboarded in like a CIA interrogation, or like slowly drowning like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, because like they're just like slowly like dying and like losing breath trying to play beautiful music. And it's like really sad because like if you go into like Ross-Ade Stadium and like you see like bands playing, like you can't really see their suffering since you're like so far up. But I have a hypothesis, right? That if you like look closely up, this is what they look like. And I'm just gonna perform what they look like. And keep in mind, I don't have a trombone with me, so I'm just gonna like start imitating a trombone. So like, if you need to cover your ears, please do so right now. All right, here it goes. Alright,
Thank you so much.
I don't even know if this is funny. I just thought Josh wanted to do a roast. Josh, you look like your butthole is off-center. Like you need coordinates like a game of Battleship. Scene 4. Okay. And then I had to do a whoopee cushion joke. Anyone want to sit on me?
Yes. Yes.
Alright, that's my fun whoopee cushion humor, and we're moving on. Yeah, they passed the don't say gay law in Florida. You guys see that? Yeah. Yeah, calm down. I don't support that, obviously, Florida. I don't support Florida as a state. I did think it was amazing though, like when there were a lot of people protesting it, like a lot of students kind of, they did walks outside of high school and they're like, it's okay to say gay, it's okay to say gay, which is like a great way to show you're an ally. It also made me realize that that my middle school bullies were way ahead of their time. They're like, it's okay to say gay, you're gay. I was like, you're an ally. No, but I feel like there was a stigma in middle school, right? Like they'd be like, my bullies would be like, what are you, dumb and gay? And I was like, I'm not gay. I'm dumb. 2 + 2 is 3. But now I feel like that stigma's gone, right? They ask the same question, like, what are you, dumb and gay? It's like, I'm not dumb. I'm a gay valedictorian. I'm balling. What I'm trying to say is don't bully someone for their sexuality. Bully them because they're stupid. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't bully them because they're gay. Bully them because they use the wrong form of their. It's like, use the wrong turn around. Let me give you a wedgie. Their underwear, possessive. This is just a random poll. Did anyone ever get a wedgie like in their life? Did that ever happen? Really?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. That is such a weird thing to me. Like I only have seen those in movies. Like that's gross. Like I sweat a lot. Like you ever went to gym in fucking high school? So like you touch the back of the underwear, it's wet. You know? It's like the headband of a tennis player. It's just like. I'm amazed that when bullies give people wedgies, they're not just like, ew, like, oh, okay. In the movies, they put the guy who's getting a wedgie is like on the top of a flagpole. You guys know what I'm talking about? Which that's a logistical nightmare, but that is very impressive, right? I feel like they should do an advertisement for that underwear. Like, Fruit of the Loom will never let you down. Here's a random question. Do you think during a national tragedy they would put that kid at half-mast? I was like, no, it's Veterans Day. They never showed the kid after though, like he was put on the flagpole. Because like if I was him, I would just not wear underwear. Because then when the bully goes to try to give him a wedgie, he just gets a handful of ass. So who's gay now? Still me, gay valedictorian. Let's see. I used to have anger issues as a child, and I still do. No, I did have anger issues as a child. One time I got a red card in my under-6 AYSO soccer game. I don't know if you guys know about that. That shouldn't happen. Here's what happened. The kid took the ball away from me, which you're allowed to do. And then I was like, I'm just going to break your leg. Which is insane. Like, I don't know if you guys have been in an AYSO soccer game, but like during halftime you're eating Baby Bell cheese and tangerines. So like go from that to be like, I'm gonna slide tackle a motherfucker. A lot of anger. The ref gave me the red card. I didn't even know what that was. I was like, that is my emotion, how I'm feeling. I'm upset. My parents were like, you need to control your anger. You need to find a healthy outlet. And I was like, yelling! They were like, no, don't do that. My dad's genius plan for me was like, whenever you get mad, you should run. So that is just an inconvenience. It's like, oh fuck, I have to do the dishes. Just like temple run. Where is he going? I get so upset, I just start doing liners. My mom's like, stop fucking stopping. I'm like, alright. That's light jog. That's all I I got. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you. So I don't have a roast about Josh. I do have one about Josh's mom.
Oh boy.
They used to call them jumpolines until she got off one.
Yeah.
Let's warm up. Yeah. So we've been working really hard to get some more gender diversity into the club. We realized it was a problem when our main non-male performer was Cooper's feminine hips. Which honestly, I didn't have a problem with it. Anyway, no. So I was talking with a friend the other day, and he used the word Eskimo. I was like, hey man, that's not like a racially sensitive term. You should like just not use it. He's like, fuck. How often are you using this word? It was like constantly being cut off on the highway by dog sleds. It's not like an everyday word you should be using. But then that made me remember there aren't enough good racial slurs for white people. Hey, I can say it. I'm white. No, but it's like I deserve it sometimes. But like I feel like there just aren't good ones. And I told my roommate this. He's a colored man. He goes, "What was that monkey?" I had not heard of that one. I was like, "You have any more?" He proceeds to give me the 15 most creative uses of the English language I've ever heard. This list consisted of, but is not limited to, Vanilla Gorilla, Cracker Jacker, and my personal favorite, the Mayonnaise Militia. This like made me realize, like I feel like a good white racial slur is kind of like a shiny Pokemon card. Like, you don't see them every day. What do? You put that shit in your back pocket. So I was recently, or not recently, I actually went to Gary. Yeah, she gets it. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Gary is the mistake that you have to drive through on your way to Chicago. You know you're in Gary when it looks like you're in a Call of Duty map. Like I locked my car doors while driving on the highway in Gary. Like you cannot be safe enough. It makes Lafayette look like a utopia, which is hard. But I needed gas, so I had to stop. So I stopped at a gas station. My first impression was the fire extinguisher on a chain. Never a good sign. Not just any chain. It was like a chain that it was so thick. You only see these in like 50 Shades of Grey in The Purge. Like that's it. But I was like, I needed gas. So I stepped out and I looked at the buildings. There were two of them. The architectural style I can only describe as Legos on crack. It was cinder blocks, but none of them were the same. Like it was just like big, small, yellow. Like it looked like they'd been like collected on side quests and then just like gas station. Like it was weird. And there were two buildings. There was a gas station, and then to the left there was a restaurant? Question mark. I don't know. The sign said shrimp, catfish, taxes. Sounds like an H&R Block done by an alcoholic tax. That's the greasiest W-2s you've ever seen. No, but I was like, I should really get out of here. So I grabbed my card, put it in the machine. It gets declined. It's weird. Try it again. Gets declined. That's when I get a fraud alert on my phone that said, someone tried to use your card in Gary, Indiana. That's when you know you're in a bad part of town where it's like, you shouldn't be here. No, but fuck. Oh no, and then I was able to get gas, I had some cash. And as I was leaving, I saw spray painted on a sign, drugs, sex, and rock and roll. Cool. I feel like in Gary it would be better just to have drugs, and drugs. But I feel like two of those things are not like the other. Like there are whole radio stations devoted to rock and roll. Like you've never heard, where's my water? Yeah, you've never heard of like a drug radio station, right? Like imagine how bad that would be. One sec. Fuck, dude. If you didn't get that, you should be in church less. No, like a sex radio station, like I think would be better, but still not great. Just imagine tuning into today's top hits, and it's just. Oh! So thank you for tuning into 107.3 Debussy. Next up we have, are you sure you have a clit? That was it. That's all I have.
Yeah. We get a round of applause for Josh, please. So you guys dropping your pledge class, bro. Push-ups are hard. Hey y'all, I'm Vinay.
I'm Vinay.
Hey guys. I put Asian American and Pacific Islander on the U.S. Census. But I don't really like the term. Because you look at me, you don't really say Asian, you say brown, right? Whereas you see East Asians, they're Asians. So I've never really understood it. And the term itself is just like not great. I mean, it includes a lot of different like cultures and like physical looks and stuff, right? And it's just a wide range. Like you got rich immigrants and refugees, crypto entrepreneurs and people with actual jobs, people that get stopped by the TSA, and people that get hired by the TSA. And that's when you realize, like, when you start to look at these like individual identity groups, there's so much like different cultures and like different things with them, right? And I see that mostly through the differences between North Indians and South Indians. I'm not including Muslims though. Y'all are chill. You already got enough problems. Ramadan Mubarak, by the way, is the only time you'll see a brown mom get mad at you for eating. I mean, shit, look at me, bro. Like. Back to it though. North Indians, South Indians, very culturally, linguistically, and physically different. And the only reason we share country is because of the British, right? I mean, they saw the subcontinent and was like, hey yo, it's a fucking penis. Let's colonize it. And it's really fucked us up, bro. Especially with like the caste system and shit, which like was already pretty bad, but then got even more fucking bad. And it created a dynamic where like the light-skinned upper caste North Indians would constantly undermine the self-determination of dark-skinned lower caste South Indians, like myself. So yes, I am just talking about all my trauma from childhood. All right, and then let's get to the cultural differences though. And I think the best way you can see it, in my opinion, is like Hindu temples, right? The North Indians, they got their temples made of marble, right? Their idols, pristine, really good looking. Ours is made of stone, and our idols look very fucking demonic. It scares us like crazy. It literally scares us to get better SAT scores. Like that's why they exist. And our traditions are a lot different too. Like North Indians, like they take pride in being vegetarian and being soulful and loving animals and shit. We eat a lot of meat. South Indians, like we go ham, but we don't eat pork. I remember talking to this one like North Indian Brahmin girl about like a trip I went to this summer, and at the trip, my dad had me go to her like family village temple, and I had to like slaughter a goat, right? So I held it down, just grabbed the knife. Quick cut to the throat, blood came out. Kind of traumatizing until my grandmother made goat curry that night, and I was like, yo, I'll do that shit again. But the girl was like, oh my god, that's so cruel. Like, have y'all even properly read the Vedas? It's not allowed, that's not real Hinduism. It's like, what? I really should have said something, that was really fucked up. But she was bad as fuck, so I was kind of like, yo, yeah, shit sucks, bro. I'm so ashamed of my culture. But in the back of head, I'm just thinking, I wonder if mom made goat curry tonight.
Only I saw.
Then there's like the caste system, which you would think that educated immigrants forget when they travel miles and continents away. There's not many of us, so you think we all stick together, right? And my dad used to have this like sense of pride when he's like, my son is at the same academic Jesus. My son is outgoing like an academic. Oh my god. I'm turned on this shit. What the fuck? But Dad used to feel pride that his son could academically go head to head against the Brahmin kid. He said that the happiest day of his life was not his kid's birth or his marriage, but when I got a higher SAT score than Brahmin's friend's son. The pride was short-lived as brown people continued to do what they did best, be racist to each other. So, believe it or not, my dad was actually in IT. You know, he was breaking a lot of boundaries. But he was dark-skinned, lower caste, right? And so he ran a small team, and they worked on projects, and everyone loved him. He was a cool dude. He got along well, and his policy was just like, you do your job, you do whatever you want, right? And so he wanted better money, so he applied for a higher management position at the company, but he got beat by Raj Patel. His only credentials was an MBA, but he never wrote a line of code in his life, and he spends most of his time horny posting on Narendra Modi on Facebook. And so my dad realized the people making decisions were all upper caste North Indians who already had all these money, and like they're making all the decisions. They want to like keep all of them together, right? So my dad said, "Fuck this, I'm gonna be a Fed."
So my dad starts federally contracting and started working with a lot more white people. And like the people that he was working with are all like veterans and whatnot, right? Really old people, really white. It was what it was. And they were definitely racist at first. This one 6-year-old veteran was like, hope your code doesn't crash the way y'all crashed into New York. I can finish this pull up. My dad stares at him for 30 seconds and he's like, hey, I've done this in Sri Lanka. Not yet, man. Yeah, my dad doesn't really smash or crashes anything. He's like, the only thing he's really crashed is my Xbox when I download GTA. Or parties when he realizes there's a buffet. But the racism there was short-lived because they just offloaded all his work on him and then they realized like, hey, this dude's pretty cool. But the moral of the story is that fuck you curry munchers, you don't turn my socialist father into his dad. Have a good night.
Hey, what's up? I want to roast the fuck on Josh. Josh's dad has a latex allergy. That's the only reason Josh is born. Josh seems like the guy that when he comes, he says, Yahoo! All right, I did it. Yeah, all right. These glasses are prescription. In case I need to read the sun. Yo, I got fucking pissed off today, bro. I got fucking pissed off today. You know why? I was in the store and I saw a carton that said, cage-free eggs. Yo, every egg is cage-free if you don't eat it with the shell on. Does anybody have any questions for me? Ask me any questions. I gotta work on my crowd work skills. Any questions?
I love you.
Why are you sitting like that?
Fucking self-esteem, I don't know. Alright, cool, I did it. Alright. People wear fake shoes. You know, fake Jordans, you know? No. What do fake shoes look like? House slippers, bro. Okay, I don't know. People wear fake Jordans, which is like, you know, a lot of people do that. I met somebody wearing fake Nike Air Forces. Got fucking Nike Co-Stars on, bro? I can say that. I was in the service. Nobody thanks me. Nobody thanks the lifeguard. Lifeguard is such a, sounds serious. You know, I mean, like, I am guarding your life from this point of the lazy river to this point. Around the bend, not my problem. I was a horrible lifeguard, too. Literally, last rotation of the day, there's a girl I could tell could not swim. I was like, come on, you gotta make it. You gotta make it. If I have to get in the water and I have to get my car wet, I'm gonna be really upset. I lost my notebook, my joke notebook actually, true story. Lost all my notes, pretty sad. I wish I could see the person's face who finds it and reads it. I thought I could come up with something when I said it. Schindler's List or something. So I have my old notebook from when I first started. Check it out. Alright, I got some old jokes I wrote. I can't tell if crayons taste better with the paper on or off. Green one's alright, blue is bad. My teacher, Mrs. Gobreski, told me to get my glue stick out. I said, hey, isn't every glue technically glue stick because glue sticks? I saw Maddie Gardner at recess today. Yes, that's it. I've decided. I like girls. can't wait until puberty when my penis is outside of my body. We can stop that one right there. Damn, there's a lot of people here, my God. Where did everybody come from? Moved in with my girlfriend a while ago. Dynamic is different, you know. I had a dog. I didn't think this was weird. I like to sit on the floor with my dog a lot. Like, she sits in my lap, you know. And apparently you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that because, you know, when you let a dog lay on you, that is a sign of dominance. That means they can walk all over you and they don't respect you as much. Like, damn, bro. Is it that easy to assert dominance on somebody, bro? My dog came up to me the next day, knocked my books out of my hands, bitch. I wish I would have known that in high school. Somebody starts bullying me and just sit in their lap. Yeah, that's right, give me a fucking treat. Yeah, alright, cool, thanks, appreciate it. That's all I got.
Cooper was using it as a butt plug, right?
Yeah. What?
Microphone stand. Alright, anyway. Should I roast you, Josh?
I don't really care. Go ahead.
You look like most people's first attempt trying to drive Charlie. Oh well. Anyway, I've been trying new stuff for each open mic. This time I'm trying to see people.
Hell yeah.
Damn, you guys are ugly. Now I know why Charlie wears his glasses. Also a lot of dudes. That's comedy, right? Anyway, you know, I have like the Psucc style haircut, which just basically means I'm too lazy to cut the top of my hair. Anyway, speaking of Avatar, any of you guys go to BoilerCon?
Yeah.
Yeah! Alright, nice. Yeah, I saw you, EJ. Yeah. I mean, Purdue's pretty used to having sweaty nerds cry into a building, right? It usually has the title engineering in it, so. Oh, well. Yeah, actually, it was pretty cool to meet the voice actors, but it also means that I found out that I'm pretty old. Because like, I was like, oh yeah, you know, this chick was 12 years old when she voiced this actor, now she's 30. Shit. Yeah, you know, I've been noticing in other places also I'm getting old. Like, for example, I can only go like 2 or 3 rounds tops. And that's my partner has to carry most of the shit in the 3rd round. That's my wrist gets really sore by then. I really need to rework my badminton game. Dirty minds. You know, they also had a celebration for Holi the same day, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's an Indian tradition where we just throw color at people. Celebrate spring. I don't really know where the correlation is. But, you know, it was kind of nice to see all the Purdue engineers inhale some powder that wasn't Adderall. I mean, we're in Indiana, right? Probably more meth. Speaking of Indians in Indiana, there's this like saying that we have in engineering, which is there's a bunch of Indians here just because they misread the state name. It's a shit joke, but like it's a saying. I actually vividly remember the day that I told my friends I was transferring to Purdue. We were super drunk at the time, so at least that'll excuse some of the things that they say. It was like, oh yeah, I'm transferring to Purdue. It was like, how do you feel being an Indianian? I'm already Indian, bro, just a few extra letters. Yeah, my friends told me that was the funniest shit they ever heard at the time. But being drunk lowers a lot of people's standards of comedy. Right, JT? Alright, that was a bit of an inside joke. Anyway, I should have formatted this better. Should have learned a lesson from last time. Alright, for those of you who haven't seen any of my previous sets, I have one friend that I just have to roast every single time. His name's Julius, so he's gonna watch the playback probably when I show it to him. But if you guys know the lore of my comedy sets, you may know this one. He's just allergic to girls. And by that I mean, he still goes near girls. He just fucks it up really badly. But if you know the lore of my comedy sets, you'd also be able to write a good joke off set, right? Cooper? Sorry, hack chlamydia. Anyway, Julius, he introduces his new girl to me, right? Over a Discord call of all things. And, just to be clear, they were not on the same end of the Discord call. Like, he was on a Discord call in his dorm room, and she was on a Discord call in her dorm room. And it was a video call, so like one of my friends, not my friend that I'm roasting, one of my friends just like, oh, she has a septum piercing, right? And I'm like, we can see that. And he's like, okay, join our group chat. And then he's just like, bro, she looks like a cow. EJ, you've heard this joke in workshop before. What was that? My friend Julius is like, I'm gonna go tell her that. I'm like, Julius, oh my guy. Never tell a woman that she looks like a cow. I don't care how insane you are. Even if she works for ABC Milk Company. Anyway, so I was actually having a conversation about living situations in dorms with my friends. And I have a single in Hawkins, so it's nice. It's like a no-brainer. We're right next to Cranner, so. All right. I know I'm low on time anyway, so I'm just gonna run through this real quick. It is a lot of scrolling. It's a phone, right? I should have written it out on paper. But yeah, so let's skip that entire set. I don't know why I even started that one. Anyway, friends. A lot of my friends just have no situational awareness. Like I'm in an open lab, and I just have the grad TA sitting next to me. He's just explaining like my code. I was like, so the GPIO interfacing on the SPI is active high while conducting pulse width modulation. Then my guy on my left is just like, bro, I really want to smash that TA. And the GTA just looks over and he's just like, and then my friend's just like, no, wrong class, even though he pointed to the chick. And for those of you in EC, you guys know that I just bullshitted all those words. And I'm getting flashed, so.
Okay, this is my first time doing anything like this. So I'm definitely a big believer in karma and everything. So I was at BoilerCon last week, and I went there and I was standing in line and I wanted to get a photo with the two cast members, and so the three guys behind me were talking and they're like, oh, it's like $20 per photo. And I'm like, per photo, like each of them like $20, that's $40. And I really just like wasn't sure if I wanted to spend that kind of money. And like Indian people in general are very like stingy with their money and they just don't really want to pay. And like I totally get that, and I'm like that too. And although my parents would disagree with me when I say that, because I definitely was like, oh, I really want to come to Purdue, and Purdue out of state is like $40,000. And I was like, So I come here and my parents are about to pay the bill. Do you know we have a $4,000 general service tuition outside of our normal tuition? There's only one type of service which I would be willing to pay $4,000 for, and Purdue is definitely not providing that service. So I'm like, okay, so we stand in line and then we decide that, okay, we're just gonna split it between the four of us. We're gonna take this photo together, and then we only have to pay $5 a person, so that's only $10, so it works out great. So we end up standing in line for 3 whole hours. We get there, we take the photo, they were super nice, it's great, and then we're leaving. So as we're leaving, I'm walking outside and I look down, and on the sidewalk there's a credit card, so I'm like, oh my god, like I'm here at this perfect time, like someone's credit card's there, like maybe I could just, maybe I'm like, in a karma aspect, like I'll be a good person. And I pick it up, and I bend down, I pick it up, and I'm like, Jacob, and I'm like, oh, Jacob's about to pay for that $4,000 general service. But in reality, I was like, okay, I felt bad for this kid. Like, he lost his credit card, so I pull up my phone, I go to the Purdue email directory, and I'm like, okay, like I type his name, I send him a quick email. I'm like, hey, Jacob, I think I found your credit card. And he responds, he's like, oh my god, that is my credit card, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. Can you please come to Meriden South to give me my card back? And like, I like being a good person as much as anybody else does, but how are you gonna ask me to come give you your credit card when I found your credit card? That's like someone giving you a gift and you writing a thank you note and being like, come to my house to pick up the thank you note. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand, but I was like, fine, I'll be a good person, I'll go. So I go and I return his credit card. So I'm standing there, I'm waiting for him, and he comes down, he's like, oh my god, thank you so much, this is my card. Like, he takes it, he opens his wallet, so I think he's just gonna, put his card away and then leave. And then he does like what any man does to resolve any situation. He pulls out some money and he's like, here, take this money, thank you so much. So he goes, he tries to give me this $20 bill, and I'm like, no, like I don't want to take your money. And I do, and okay, all you like Asian people out here know what I'm talking about. When you're at some like function, right, and your elders are like, oh, we want to give you money, and your parents are like, don't take money from your grandma, right? So grandma's like, oh, take money, like I love you, sweetie, and you do the whole like fake humility thing where you're like, no, grandma, I don't want your money. You know, I'm doing that shit, so I'm in front of Jacob, and you know, I'm like, oh, should I do this fake humility thing? Like, I don't want his money. But then I'm like, no, I really don't actually want his money. So I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, no, Jacob, I don't want your money. It's all good. And you know, I talk with my hands a lot, so I'm out here being like, no, Jacob. And he takes the $20 and he just sticks it in between my fingers. And I'm not about to let money fall on the floor. Like, that's just disrespectful. So I grab that shit and I'm like, okay. And then he runs off, and then I'm like, okay, like I guess I got $20. And I was thinking about, like, you know, just a couple hours ago, I was just really unwilling to pay like $10 to take a photo. This dude was out here giving me $20, so I was like, I basically made that money in double in a couple hours. Like that seems like a good business model, honestly. But I was just thinking about how, like, even though I was so stingy and I got that money back in double, that, you know, it just like being kind and doing good things for one another, it just like, it doesn't cost anything, and you gain everything, including $20. Thank you.
Josh, some advice. Next time you perform, try performing some jokes. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do what no Psucc comedian has ever done before. I'm gonna be making Tinder jokes. No, I'm kidding. And the next time someone opens with that line, I'm gonna come and shit on your bed. But I'm gonna do something no Psucc comedian has done before. I'm gonna make fart jokes. You heard me right, like jokes on flatus, jokes on breaking the wind. Do you know there are like 9 synonyms for the word fart? Yeah. There's like some guy was just like, in case I ever want to get into poetry and like I need to make a poem on farts. I just think these synonyms, like, they're just there to confuse you, right? Because the other day I was hanging out with this friend. It was really hot, right? I was really like, I was sweating, and he was like, dude, I really got to break the wind. I thought he meant he was going to turn on the fan. So I was like, yeah, dude, just point it at my face. It was bad. The fucker actually followed up on it. Like, yeah, like synonyms, I think, like, they're just there to make life hard, you know, like, just to complicate things. Like, see, just to give you perspective, right? Like, when someone tells you, like, they want a gardening hoe, like, I don't know if they're talking about the equipment or if they genuinely want a stripper or something. But yeah, so this, even this other time, so I was just walking out of the bathroom and my friend was going in, right? And I was like, dude, if I were you, I wouldn't go in there, I just bombed the bathroom. And he was like, yeah, it's okay, dude, like, I can handle the smell. Boss, what smell are you talking about? I'm brown. When I bomb the bathroom, there's no bathroom left for you to go to. But yeah, also unpopular opinion, bathroom stalls need soundproofing. Sounds like a fucking orchestra in there, like like in tune to just stupid. Yeah, what was my next fart joke? Yeah, so since we were doing fart jokes, right? Yeah, I think farts are really disrespected, right? Like to a point where people try hiding their farts. Like I'm no exception. So I went shopping with my friends, and then on the way back, I really needed to fart. So I thought, I asked my friend if I could ride his moped back. He was like, fine. My plan was I'd start the moped up, and when the moped started, I'd fart. So I got the keys, started the moped, and I farted. And I realized this moped was electric. It didn't work out well. It was so much easier back in the time, right? Like back before COVID, like you could cough to cover your fart. Now you need to fart to cover your cough. It's the kind of situation we're in. But yeah, speaking of COVID, it just reminded me. I went to push.
Let's go, boss.
It's like booming sounds coming from a brown guy is never a good sign. But yeah, so I went to push, right? And it was nothing serious. I just had like an allergic reaction and like I had a rash on my skin. I should have been in and out of there in like 10 minutes. But I went there And the nurse came in and she was like, I have some mandatory depression questions for you. Like, okay. She was like, first question, are you depressed? I wanted to say no, but then I was afraid I'd get cancelled, so I said, I'm not sure. She said, second question. She was like, have you ever wondered if you or your family would be better off without you? It's like, not until right now. It's like, why would you put that thought in my head? It's like, I just had the rash, but I couldn't sleep that night. Like, what? It's like, you know, when you're having like a nice day and your friend comes and he's like, you're having a nice day, aren't you? It's like, yeah. It's like, I told you not to think about your ex. It's like, this is... It's like, it was nice until that point. But yeah, so just like a fart, poof, I'll be gone now.
He's on the radio station. Yeah! Let's do another Josh roast. I've been gone for a second. All right, how do we fit 4 Joshes on this stool? Not in Florida, I can say it. Alright, so anyway, hi, I'm Zero. This is my first time, so if you ever think something's not funny, it's your fault, not mine. Got it? Alright, so I need to tell you guys about something. I have peaked in life, and it is true. In the past week, I have aced an engineering exam, I have won an argument with my girlfriend, and I signed up for graduation, and 2 of those never happened. So I've peaked in life. So also what happened is a true story that I want to tell you guys about. I got a ticket for jaywalking. And I know it's just as exciting, right? Whoa, he jaywalked. Crazy story. So let's imagine, everybody close your eyes. Remember, this is a true story. So everybody close your eyes, we'll set the scene. All right, it's dark, it's cold, it's miserable. True story, remember, I know it's going to be hard. We're at Purdue, and I'm crossing the intersection in front of the Armory, the street, who the fuck, and what the hell, I don't know. But anyway, I'm crossing the street. You guys can open your eyes now, it's over. And light goes from green to yellow. I'm like, I got this. I'm on my skateboard. Speed limit's 5. I'm going 6 or 7, you know. I like to live pretty carefree. It's going yellow, and I cross under it. Score! On my way to the co-rec, and then I see a cop, and he's on his bike, and you know he's serious because he's on his bike, right? And he makes eye contact with me, so I kind of speed up a little bit. You know, he's looking my way. Then I didn't make any eye contact. He's looking at me again. He's starting to speed up. Speed limit's 5, I'm going 9 or 10, I like to live ticket free. And then I know, I think I can maybe outspeed him, right? Skateboards go pretty fast, but I know it's over. As soon as I hear that stupid bell ring, fuck! Want to get a ticket. So, get pulled over, see this guy, his name's Larry. Of course it's Larry, fucking Larry. And he even starts off by saying like, hey, I know you went under a yellow light. I'm like, bitch, why you pull me over? He's like, I know you went under a yellow light, but I really do gotta stop you. I'm sorry, but it's a ticket. And so he's like, what? Oh, okay, whatever. He says, do you have your ID with you? I don't, because I live off campus. No student ID. He says, do you have your license with you? No, I'm on a skateboard. And so he says, all right, well, I'm gonna need some kind of identification. I said, no sweat. I got everything memorized. What's your Purdue ID? 00314159265. If you don't get that, go to math class. And he says, okay, what's your name? I say, Daniel. Daniel, it's my last name. He says, okay, what's your first name? He's writing this down. Say, Rich. He says, okay. Your name's Rich Daniels. That's my name, don't wear it out. He's like, all right, I'm gonna need some kind of confirmation for this, right? I see my friend, I've got a shot of this. He's just, I'm not gonna say we have the worst relationship, but he wakes me up every morning by saying that I'm the reason he supports abortion. So like, that's pretty cool, right? So I see him, I'm like, yo, Henry, all right? Say, flip him off. Say, yo, what's up, Henry? He walks up, cop's looking at me, looks at him. Henry knows his lines. Says, sup, dick? Score! Rich Daniels, that's me. So, cop finishes writing the ticket. I look, it's $50. $50 for jaywalking. That's crazy, right? What could you do with $50? There are like 50 people in Purdue student government. You could bribe all of them. That's crazy. And with the other $45, you could like buy lunch or something. So, that's a lot of money. Whatever. I'm going, and I can only imagine, like, what's this officer got going for him, right? He's going home, his wife's feeling flirty. She's like, hey, how many kids did you make it so they couldn't afford food today? Whatever. I imagine him in kindergarten, right? He's got to be like, oh, yeah, everybody's talking about what they want to do when they grow up, and they're all trying to one-up each other. You guys know how it goes. Somebody says, I want to be a nurse. Oh, she wants to be a nurse. I want to be a doctor. He wants to be a doctor. I want to be a gynecologist. And he's probably like, okay, she wants to be a gynecologist. I want to be an asshole. Fuck him. He's the worst. So, what can I say? Guess we both peaked in life. Me and Larry. Woo! Thanks, fellas.
All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit of inspiration from the guy who just came up. I want you all to close your eyes.
This always happens.
All right. And for those of you who close your eyes, I want you to open them again. I'm sorry, I'm still here. Speaking of apologies, I have a wonderful aptitude, and I think last time I was here, I tried doing some crowd work. Didn't work out, and that's because I have a very astute talent of insulting people and trying to compliment them. Funny little story, I was over at Vienna, and yeah, he knows what's up. You know.
I love cigarettes!
He loves things in his mouth. He puts the LGBTQ. Just that was for you, buddy. So I was talking to some of my friends there, and there was a new barista there. And the funny thing about Vienna is most of them are actually grad students. So they're not that much older than me, but they're not my age. So it's kind of funny to know that they are real adults, where I am kind of in that middle fake adult era of my life. So I was talking to one of them, and I learned that, oh, this barista is 24. Oh, I'm glad you still have your good looks. You're so old. I was so embarrassed after saying that, and they still have to bow to this day. Damn shame. So let's start with some of the crap I wrote down. All right, a little bit about myself. Unlike chips, I like rice a lot. It's the only way I can eat about 2,000 something at a time. Same thing with refried beans. However, I like to just fry them once. Frying them again, waste of time. Speaking of being quick, I'm a quick shopper. I like going to Target. If I miss, I go right behind it to the Walmart. Speaking of timing about things, you want to know something interesting about timing? There were fossils still when dinosaurs were walking Earth. So imagine one just walking around, steps in something, looks down and like, oh shit, that's me. Here's a fun little story. So I live over in Cary, so we have a lot of colorful people over there. So you have to interact with people. Damn shame, I hate doing that. So I had this neighbor that doesn't like my music that I play. I do a radio show over at Cary, WCCR, you should go check it out. Because if you guys were Rock the Quad earlier, which you probably weren't because you're here now, we did that. So I'm always testing out new music, and I have this loudspeaker. I turn all the way up, and what I usually like to listen for is when he doesn't like it that much and he starts banging on the wall. And so this was back in February, and I just had to turn all the way up and I was playing it. So one night, I was just playing my music, Bill Zeppelin going on, a little bit of Heartbreaker, and he starts banging on the wall. I turn it down once. A few minutes later, he bangs on it again, a lot harder this time, so I turn a little bit more. And it keeps going over and over. I turn it down, he bangs a little bit more, turn it down, bangs a little bit more, until I just turn the whole damn thing off. And then I hear a knock at my door, which I was surprised by. It was like midnight at that point. I mean, yeah, sure, I should not be playing music, but you know what, it's Cary, it's a lawless land. And I go to the door, look through the hole, and it's my neighbor, and he's not wearing a shirt, which I was very surprised by. Was this supposed to be him being forward about his feelings for me? I think I would have been rather impressed by that. His boldness. However, it was not that. He was in a towel. I think he just took a shower, and because he was all wet, and he was wondering, hey, why'd you turn off the music? We were enjoying it, and I realized we. Oh shit, it was Valentine's Day. Alright. I was supposed to be there, and then I just fucked up. I haven't done this in months, alright guys? Well, that guy has the excuse of being the new guy. I don't got nothing right now. So I'm gonna end this on one last little joke. In about 2 weeks, I'm becoming an EMT. And I'm looking forward to doing all that, working in that kind of environment. So yeah, I look forward to going to a lot of grizzly scenes. But we do get to develop a very interesting sense of humor. So, a little joke we like to say, if you come across a car crash that's a T-bone, look inside. If they're not burnt, you got a medium rare. If the brain dead, you got a side of vegetables as well. I'm gonna leave it at that. Have a good night, folks.
Hi, everybody. I feel like it's only fair that as the only other Jewish person in this club, that I start out with a Jewish joke. Jew on Jew crime. The most stingy kind of crime. What's bigger, my dick or your nose, Josh? It's okay, if you were in a nose competition, I'd probably win. That's how you can tell I'm Jewish. My nose. Anyone here see Moon Knight, the new Marvel TV show?
Yes.
Yeah. If you didn't know, it's like the first like mentally ill Marvel character. It's like representation, you know, Black Panther for mentally ill people, whatever. But anyways, I think it's kind of bullshit because it's okay when Moon Knight's mentally ill, but the minute that I'm openly mentally ill, I'm disturbing the peace and not allowed within 500 feet of my ex-boyfriend's house. Like, fuck you, Brad. A restraining order is just a piece of paper, okay? Anyways, I kind of have a bone to pick with Marvel shows. Like, super unrealistic, you know what I mean? Like, they cast Oscar Isaac to play Moon Knight, and like his whole shtick is he gets no bitches. And it's like, I'm supposed to believe Oscar fucking Isaac can't get bitches? That fine piece of ass can't get bitches. Josh, I'm so sorry. If they wanted me to believe that Moon Knight... They should have cast Josh as the Moon Knight. I'll be one better if they wanted me to believe that Moon Knight could get bitches. They should have cast any of the men in this club. I have an issue. I can't identify red flags in men. I've only ever failed one test in my life, and it was during therapy. I had to take a test about identifying red flags in men. I got a 10%. So I'm very bad. Like, very convinced a man could follow me home, and I'd be like, he must really like me. He really just wants to make sure I get home safe. It's gotten so bad that my friends have all like made me promise that like when I meet a guy and like we start going out, that they have to approve of him. And it's like the only way that I can see that situation playing out is like Shark Tank. Like it comes out and he's like, for a 15% increase in Kelsey's happiness, I'll increase her relationship trauma by 50%. Which, considering my ex-boyfriends, that's kind of good. Anyways, I've dated some interesting guys in my past. For example, like my first ex-boyfriend, he liked baseball. He was also a gambler. So anytime we'd go out, he would say 20 for first base, but 50 for a home run. And like, I don't know, like I don't really know how sports gambling works, but like it's like really dumb to bet on like what base you're gonna get to. But like, I don't know, he was really popular amongst the girls in our grade, so. Anyways, I recently went to my gynecologist to try, hell fucking yeah. Try and get in a stronger form of birth control. Oh yeah. I'm on a pill, but I fucking suck at taking the pill. Like literally, I look at the day, the calendar, and look at Saturday, popping out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, crushing them bitches up. gets to my uterus the fastest. And I went to my gynecologist and I was like, I want an IUD. And she was like, well, how much do you have sex a month? And I said, well, 0 times a month, maybe like a half if I'm lucky, you know. She looked at me and she said, you don't have sex enough for me to give you an IUD. And I said, did you just humble me? Like, if anything, you should be high-fiving me. All right, that's my set.